He spun past the delivery van and passed through the school gate. He would be sorry when he grew out of the bike. For 2 years now it had almost been part of him. He double-locked it in the shed and went into the yard. Brookland was a modern school, all red brick, and to Alex's eye, rather ugly. He would have gone to any of the exclusive private schools around Chelsea, but Iron Rider had decided to send him here. He had said it would be more of a challenge. The first period of the day was algebra. When Alex came into the classroom, the teacher, Mr. Donovan, was already chalking up a complicated equation on the board. It was hot in the room, the sun was streaming in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, put in by architects who should have known better. As Alex took his place near the back, he wondered how he was going to get through the lesson. How could he possibly think about algebra when there were so many other questions churning through his mind? The guy at the funeral, the way blood looked at him, the van with the Striker and Son written on the side, the empty office, and the biggest mystery of all, the one detail that refused to go away, the seatbelt. Iron Rider hadn't been wearing a seatbelt. But of course he had. Iron Rider had never been one to give lectures. He had always said Alex should make up his own mind about things, but he'd had this thing about seatbelts. The more Alex thought about it, the less he believed it. A collision in the middle of the city. Suddenly he wished he could see the car. At least the wreckage would tell him that the accident had really happened, that Iron Rider had really died that way. Alex? Alex looked up and realized that everyone was staring at him. Mr. Donovan just asked him something. He quickly scanned the blackboard, taking in the figures. Yes, sir, he said. X equals 7 and Y is 15. The math teacher sighed. Yes, Alex, you're absolutely right. But actually, I was just asking you to open the window. Somehow he managed to get through the rest of the day, but by the time the final bell rang, his mind was made up. While everyone else streamed out, he made his way to the secretary's office and borrowed a copy of the Yellow Pages. What are you looking for? The secretary asked. Miss Bedfordshire had always had a soft spot for Alex. Auto junkyards. Alex flicked through the pages. If a car got smashed up near Old Street, they'd take it somewhere near, wouldn't they? I suppose so. Here, Alex had found the yards listed under auto records, but there were dozens of them fighting for attention over 4 pages. Is this for a school project? The secretary asked. She knew Alex had lost a relative, but not how. Sort of. Alex was reading the addresses, but they told him nothing. This one's quite near Old Street, Miss Bedfordshire pointed at the corner of the page. Wait. Alex tugged the book toward him and looked at the entry underneath the one secretary had chosen. J.B. Striker, Auto Records. Heaven for cars. Call us today. That's in Vauxhall, Miss Bedfordshire said. Not too far from here. I know, but Alex had recognized the name. J.B. Striker. He thought back to the van that he had seen outside his house on the day of the funeral. Striker and Son. Of course, it might just be a coincidence, but it was still somewhere to start. He closed the book. I'll see you, Miss Bedfordshire. Beep. careful." The secretary watched Alex leave, wondering why she had said that. Maybe it was his eyes, dark and serious. There was something dangerous there. Then the telephone rang and she forgot him as she went back to work.